When you live in the middle of nowhere, you get very accustomed to hearing strange sounds in the woods. Now, most of the time, it's just coyotes having their nightly meetups, screeching and making all kinds of sounds. But from time to time, we hear a sound that is unfamiliar, that is totally unexplained. And it's occurrences like this that lead to the speculation of the existence of undiscovered species. And it is for that subject that I have brought here today my good friend and neighbor, Kyle. Kyle, how are you doing
Yes,
tonight?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing awesome. So I was wondering, would you be willing to detail to me some of the strange things that you have yourself experienced out in the wild?
Yes, I'd be happy to.
Awesome. So what is it that you've seen out there?
Well, I've personally seen what I believe I'm almost certain is from Bigfoots to I've seen spirits or ghosts. I don't know what you would call them, and I've seen a UFO, and I've seen some other things I can't even explain, or I've been trying to figure out. I've gotten some answers, but still not 100%, like 90, 80 something percent sure what it was.
That is wild. So let's go ahead and let's start with the Bigfoot. What kind of Bigfoot do you suspect that this was?
Well, my first sighting with Bigfoot happened when I was in Florida still. I was living there as a kid, and I was with my mom and at her friend's house with some other people. We walked into this gate her friend had, and you walk past this little gate, there's like grass, shrubbery, and there's a creek bed. And across it, you can see like some grass and near the woods and stuff. I mean, I've been to this spot before, never seen anything over there. There was this one spot, that one day, there was like some things standing there, perfectly still, and I know they weren't trees. This wasn't a bear. These, I believe, to be Bigfoot, but not like you see in that famous picture of the Sarasota skunk ape. It was nothing like that at all. It was they.
You not only heard the calls, but you also made eye contact, or at least saw with your own eyes this hairy creature. How would you
Yeah,
describe it looking?
they didn't make any sounds. They were just the way they looked. They were tall, over 6, 7 foot tall. They were like, what was weird is they were all huddled together in a group, like football players would. They were like shoulder to shoulder in this small little group. But if I had to say there was like, I couldn't tell you. There may have been 4, 5, or 6 of them. They had black hair, shaggy, furred, muscular. I mean, they didn't make a sound or anything. They didn't whistle. You couldn't hear nothing. I mean, I was a good enough distance. I could have picked up a rock and possibly threw close to them or in the water and startled them, but I didn't do that. And I know some people say Bigfoot has like a telekinetic ability to read your mind and stuff, but I didn't feel that. I didn't smell nothing. They weren't making a sound. They were just standing there in this little group, not even paying attention to me.
Now, of course, you have no reason to lie to me about this, but I'm sure you could understand if I said that I didn't believe you. Now, going along with that, what would you say to those who are skeptical of Bigfoot? You're sure that that's really what you saw. Could this have been a breakaway civilization, or an escaped convict, or even a feral human? What gives you the suggestion that this was another species?
I mean, I believe they were Bigfoot. I know it wasn't a human being because if it was a escaped convict, they wouldn't be standing there in the open for people to see. They would be like, if it was an escaped convict, they would have tried to break into my friend's house, my mom's friend's house it was, and or they would have moved off somewhere else. I don't I mean, they look like, I don't know if they were feral humans or Bigfoots, or if you ask me what a Bigfoot is, that's my personal opinion. It's hard for me to say. I've heard theories that they're some kind of like Neanderthal, Homo sapien crossbred hybrid of some sort. I've actually seen a clip on somewhere where they say, yes, these are hybrids of human species or something like that.
That is fascinating. So, where exactly was this? This was in the middle of nowhere or near the city, or how far away do you have to be from civilization to see something like that? Because, of course, if we were in a urban populous area, you would assume that Bigfoot sightings would be a common occurrence, right?
Right. It was in Hills. I forgot what part of Florida we were in that day. It's been so many years ago. I don't remember, but I want to say it was somewhere in Hillsborough County, but we weren't in town or nothing. Like, we were like a little bit out of town. Not like I would say out in the middle of nowhere in the countryside, but not quite in the countryside, but out like there were a lot of houses at. There were some people, but not many neighbors and stuff. And I don't remember exactly where, because I was like, oh my gosh, I want to say this happened back in the 1990s, and I was a little kid back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't tell really, when that happened at first, for the longest time, I didn't talk about it because people might think, oh, you saw a bear or a tree or something, but I'm like, it's like this. Believe what you want. I mean, I'm not here, everybody's entitled to believe what they want. I saw what I saw. I have no reason to lie about it or gain fame or anything. I'm just trying to help people come forward. If they have a sighting, don't be scared to share it with people. There are people out there that are willing to listen and not judge you for it.
Right. And so that is what I hope we will do today by sharing your story. So was this at night? How were you able to see them clearly in the dark, or was this during the day?
It was actually during the day. It was
wow.
it was during the day. I could see them clearly. I mean, if I had to compare what they look like, I told someone already, is they look like the famous Bigfoot from Roger Patterson's film, and then there's another Bigfoot sighting that happened in I think it was Sarasota, Florida, or somewhere, where people actually stopped and saw this one Bigfoot, or I don't know if it was a Bigfoot or a feral human or what, but it was, I think, a Bigfoot of some kind, running through a field of tall grass and stuff, and people they wouldn't go out there because there was alligators and snakes out there. Why would somebody be running through it? But between the Bigfoot of Roger Patterson's film and that other one I just mentioned, it looked just like it. The head shape, everything was just like it. It had long arms. It was like, this is what I've seen.
That is incredible and harrowing. So did you feel like you were in danger at all?
Not at all. I mean, I didn't feel nothing. When I seen them, I just I kept calm, and I didn't really at the time, I didn't try to whistle at them or anything, because, it's like, when I think back to it, I said, well, I guess it's out of respect for them. We don't know what they're doing or what they're capable of doing. It's like, if you see them, respect them,
Right. And so I can't remember, did you say this was far away? This was in the country, right?
It was like, yeah, it was like kind of like in the countryside, near like a small, not like in a town, but in the country, not too close, but the countryside, but somewhere between like the town and the countryside. There was like a house next door to hers, and I forgot how many houses were out there, but I guess you could say it was in the countryside. I just can't remember the location.
And so I gotta ask, have you ever heard the term Florida skunk ape?
Yes, I have, but I didn't learn that term till years after I had that sighting.
Right. So when you heard that term, it was much later, but did you think that that may have been what you saw? Do you think that this could be maybe a subspecies of Bigfoot itself? Or what is the Florida skunk ape in your own terms?
Well, in my opinion, when I first heard about the Florida skunk ape of Sarasota, Florida, I saw, when I think about it, it's like you see that famous picture of that somebody took. I don't think anybody knows the exact location of it, where it happened at or nothing, but there's theories where it might have been. I've read stories where it could have happened in this park or something, but a person sent pictures to the police department saying they thought it was an escaped orangutan and it was going to hurt somebody. It was stealing apples. And this thing has a bad smell. And when you look at the picture, it has long hair. It's got the eyes are shining from the camera reflecting off it. It's showing its teeth. And I've seen a picture somewhere. I read something like a year ago. It showed a picture. You could actually, somewhere it pointed out in the picture, you could see the thing's hands and fingers in actual dirt and stuff. And in my opinion, if I had to guess, I've theorized, what that person caught in the pictures, those two pictures, might be a Gigantopithecus or some evolved subspecies of it.
Now, what is that? Is that an ancient species, or what is Gigantopithecus? Can I even say that? Gigantopithecus.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. Some people will believe that's what Bigfoot is, a direct descendant of this Gigantopithecus that lived millions of years ago. It was like a prehistoric giant ape. It could be up to 10 foot tall. And people believe maybe that was what Bigfoot could be, as a prehistoric, descendant of Gigantopithecus, which maybe it is, because over time it evolved to become that. But when you look at Bigfoot sightings, you hear there's always different colors, like black fur or brown or light tannish color or even reddish fur or reddish brown. And when I see this skunk ape picture that was taken, I'm like, it would be nice to know where this picture was taken at and see if there's another one nearby and could they capture it on camera. I mean, but, that picture is not what I saw. And I know some people might say, well, it's somebody in a monkey suit. Well, why would somebody spend all that money, go through Jim Henson's company money for, to build a puppet like that, just to go through a hoax like that at night, and then you see the thing's baring its teeth and fangs at you? That's an animal saying, hey, back off of me. You startled it, and it's getting aggressive, trying to warn you to get away from it.
Right. So when you were there, did you see any aggressive behavior by this creature that you saw? Or what were its mannerisms like? Just sitting there in a group, or did you see it exhibit any specific behavior?
They were all standing upright in a little huddle together, not making a single sound, not even moving. They were just standing perfectly still like statues.
That is wild. So you were out there in the countryside, probably Hillsborough County, and during the day, you saw these creatures. Yeah. Then what happened? How did you get out of there?
Well, my mom, me, and I think it was a friend of hers, we just basically turned and walked away, went back up to her friend's house, and we went back inside and sat there, and we just walked away. And the strange thing is, they never bothered us. They never tried to come across that creek or anything to, follow us or see what we're doing or anything. I mean, I never did look back. I don't know why I didn't look back. I guess I didn't thought about it, or maybe it's a good thing I didn't look back and see what they were doing.
That is an incredible story. That's not something you see every day.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned that you also saw, some other creatures, and I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about what other cryptids you might have witnessed beyond just possibly the Florida skunk ape.
Okay. This one happened back in 2011 in Giles County, but there was a part of Lawrenceburg that went there, and there were some weird things that happened on that property, some of it, I want to say my Bigfoot, I don't know. I think the first thing that startled me real badly is I was coming outside my back door, and behind my trailer was a hillside. Mm-hmm. And there's a carport right there I would go put my dog on. And it's left to right. And on the side there is leads up to this small little hill. And I'm getting ready to walk my dog out the door. I'm barely out the door for 2 steps. I hear some things, and I mean, like, it sounded like two somethings big running up the side of the hill. I mean, literally running up the hill. And I grabbed the shovel because I don't know what it is or who it is or, you know. I walked over, put my dog in the chain. I went back out there, stood there with her. This time I had a knife on me. And I heard one of them walking upright, back and forth, left to right, walking. I'm thinking to myself, that ain't a person. Why would they be walking like that? You know, like, there's no reason for them to do that. And that was just one of the few things that happened on that property that was really strange and unexplainable.
And so not a soul around,
Right.
yet you're hearing sounds that seem like it could be somebody walking.
Yeah, it sounded like a big thing, a big bipedal something, got up with two of them, ran up this hillside like it was nothing to them, and then got up to the top there and was watching me walking back and forth. Like, he was pacing left to right or watching what I was getting ready to do, and I never shined a light up there on it. I guess, and I was too scared to at the time.
So at this point, I mean, previously you really hadn't felt any kind of threat to the beings that you were witnessing before, but this time you were quite a bit more afraid. Was it just because it was at night?
That, and it caught me off guard because I didn't know what it was or what they were. Like, I mean, it startled me.
That's completely understandable. I think I would be probably 10 times as afraid as you were at that time. Just because you're much more experienced with this subject than I am. But did you have any visual contact?
Visual, not exactly, but kind of. I had visual contact with other things that happened there, like here's the one thing. I came out my back door one day in broad daylight. My mom was with me. My little dog I had at the time, he started trying to run up that hill a little bit, and he stopped, and he was barking at something. That wasn't like him to be barking. And me and my mom noticed all over this hill there was like little skinny trees. I mean, little skinny, saplings. The tops had been snapped off. And there was quite a few that had been all around there, mysteriously just snapped off. And I'm like, she was like, that was just done. That was not like that this morning. I'm like, no, it wasn't. And then in that same area, I forgot how long it was afterwards, I did have another visual sighting of something. I don't know how to explain it. It was getting close to evening, but I could still see up the hillside. I was sweeping my house up. I had the back door open. Or I looked out the back door. I was doing something, and I looked up the hillside, and I saw some movement up there. And you could see all the trees. Like, you could see if it was a deer or something, you would see it. But what I saw was, I've heard about other people having these encounters. You probably remember that movie, The Predator, about the alien that had that camouflage thing?
Yeah, I do.
That's what I saw. I could see it, like, moving around in the trees right there. I saw the movement of it. Like, something was sitting there, had one of these camouflage things on, and was walking around up there.
Wow, that is definitely very scary. So you could see that there was something there, but it had no form. It had no visual. How would you describe it?
It was like, it's like if you've ever seen the movie The Predator, when he turns invisible like that and how he walks when he's invisible with all his ripples and stuff. That's what it was like. I mean, I saw it walking. I couldn't tell you how tall it was, but I could see it walking around, and I watched it for a couple minutes or so, and I don't know if it knew I was watching it or what it was doing, but it kept walking around, and I decided, I'm going to close my door and get back inside. I don't know. I'm just not, whatever it is, let it be.
That's understandable. Now, of course, if you knew what it was that you were seeing, then this wouldn't be an interesting story. And I have no guess at all what that could have been, and it seems like maybe you don't either. But I want to invite you to speculate. What is it that you think you might have seen that night or that day. Sorry.
Well, Ian, to be honest with you, I honestly don't know. I've been told that some people say Bigfoot has this cloaking ability they have, that they can do that with cloaks. Maybe it was that. I honestly, I can't really say what it was. I've tried to figure it out for years, and I still can't figure out what that was. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I'm like, was it a Bigfoot in cloaking? Was it something else? I mean, I don't have an answer still.
Now, how did you feel at that time? Is this a time that you felt like you were afraid or you were under a threat, or is this more of kind of a sitting and watching in awe type of thing? Did you reach for a weapon? What did you do?
I just sat there and watched in awe, like I couldn't believe what I was seeing, like, and I didn't reach for a weapon or nothing. I just like watched in awe, like what is this thing? Am I seeing what I'm seeing? I know I'm seeing it, but it's like I just can't believe I'm seeing this.
That is out of this world. I gotta say that, Kyle. I've seen some shit, but I've never seen an invisible predator-esque cloaked Bigfoot walking around. So that is something that you can definitely lay claim to that most people aren't able to do. Wow. So what else is it that you've seen?
Well, there's some other stuff happened at that property, like one time I briefly had this happen. One time I had a phone I was like using. It was like a not a flip phone, it was a regular old cell phone you could still push the buttons on. And I had a phone call trying to answer my mom. I heard like real staticky, and I thought it was a woman talking. I kept saying, "Mom, I can't hear you. I can't hear you." And it was so staticky. You hear someone talking, and I looked and it stopped. And I looked down at the phone. It turned out the button I hit wasn't to answer. I hit the silent button to silence the ringer. And I'm like, wait a second, what did I just? This was my first thought is that's got to be some kind of EVP, electronic voice phenomena, maybe. I don't know. And then I had one night I was I was in the trailer by myself. My back porch light was on, and I seen a small cloaked figure outside my house, like standing there. I couldn't say a word. I was looking at it like, what is that? And it was like a white cloaked figure, almost a little bit transparent, and all of a sudden it glided off. And I snapped out of it. Because my dog was out on the chain. I grabbed a knife, thinking, "Who the heck is this? And what are they doing out here?" And I ran out there, and they were gone. Like I said, there's no way this person or thing could have disappeared like that. Where'd it go? And then, I mean, I have heard a strange sound one night out there. Hooves going across like a cobblestone pathway, like those rocks that are like you might see in parks or somewhere. I guess you call them cobblestones. Like you'd hear horse hooves going down the road. I looked out the window. This was late at night. There's no horses walking past my house, and there's people out there that own houses, but I don't see them. I don't hear them. So like, where these horse hooves are coming from? And then the strangest thing, another strange thing happened is my neighbor. She had turkeys, and they sit on this fence like two females and a male.
Yep.
One night the female disappeared. Then another night the other female disappeared, but the final night that I moved out, the male turkey was standing there. He was looking at that hillside like he was getting ready to go after something up there. And I'm thinking, something came up and had to take those turkeys off the fence posts one at a time. And then the final thing that happened at that property I can remember, I was laying down on the couch by the windows. I was watching a movie. It was like 12 o'clock at night. My mom's dog, I was by myself. He was there, and the dog he just picked up his head and started low growling at the doorway. And I told him, I said, "Calm down. There's no one outside. There's nobody here but us." But I got this weird feeling. I wasn't scared or nothing. I just got this real weird feeling. Like, I can't explain it. It was like weird, like just plain weird. Like someone was, that happened. Somebody was walking past my doorway and stopped and stood there. And then they finally walked off. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't see nothing. I felt that feeling like there's somebody walking past the door right now and standing there as he's growling like this. And then that feeling disappeared and lifted, that's when the dog started to stop growling.
Right. So let me ask you this. These beings that you've been visited by, do you think they were peaceful? Do you think they came to just learn about humans, what our lives are like, and study us? Or do you think that they are more sinister in nature, maybe even stealing our intelligence or our spirits, or maybe even using us as a food source? Why on earth would these beings want to visit us?
That's a very good question. I honestly don't know unless I mean, are they? I want to say maybe they're observing us, or it just depends on the ones that we're looking at and seeing. Like maybe they have ulterior motives that we don't know about just yet. Like, are they? They act like they. I don't know what they were up to at that place. They may have been observing us and watching us. Like for some reason, I don't know why, but they were. I never could figure out what they were up to. Like, why did I keep seeing them all the time?
Right. Well,
And
go ahead.
yeah, you go ahead.
Have you ever seen anything strange and unexplained, specifically in Tennessee? Because Tennessee has, vast areas that really don't have a lot of people at all.
Yeah.
Wide areas of wilderness, and of course, being far away from population centers, we don't know what's in there. I mean, people aren't regularly going out there, and there definitely aren't cameras. So, what would you speculate could be lurking in the wilderness of Tennessee?
Well, there could be a lot of stuff that's lurking here we just don't know about. Like that story I just told you about that happened on that property happened in Tennessee. I mean, it's possible deep in these woods there could be stuff here hidden that we don't know about or undiscovered. Like I have heard people say there are feral humans in Tennessee. Now that I believe is plausible. There is possibility of those things up there and hiding out, and they're able to hide out, and they're smart enough to stay hidden and know how to ambush people. I mean, it's possible maybe I believe there are Bigfoots because there's habitats out here that can support them. Just like some people say, there are the dogman sightings might be out here too.
What are the dogman sightings?
Dogman is, some people might describe as a werewolf or as a shapeshifter of some kind.
Right.
There's like different parts of the USA that talk about them. There's always a little different detail, but they're like these bipedal, hair-covered creatures that have wolf-like heads.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, I agree. I've never had an encounter with one, but I mean, would I like to have an encounter? Yeah, at a safe distance, just to like experience it and see what it really is and what it is myself to like. Okay, this is what it is. This thing is real. I mean, yeah. I believe there's other things out here we don't know about just yet. They could be hiding. There's caves out here. There's the water. The river could hide stuff we don't know about that might be migrating through here.
Right. Well, for both your sake and mine, I really hope that whatever is hiding out there is friendly.
I agree.
So let me ask you this. It's not just terrestrial creatures that you've seen, I understand. You've also seen some mysterious and unexplained things in the skies. What have you seen?
Okay, this happened to me once, and I have some video of it. I think I sent it to you on Instagram one time, the video of that UAP I caught on camera out here. This one time it happened to me, it was unexpected. I was looking out my window at night, and you've seen the trees out here and how tall they are and stuff by the property next door of mine.
Yeah.
I was looking out there. I just happened to look out the window. All of a sudden, I see this ball of white light shooting across the sky. And I know it wasn't a meteorite, it wasn't a comet, it was right above the trees. It was a ball of white solid light. It didn't have like a, like comets and meteorites have like a fiery tail or something to it. It was just a solid white orb going across the treetops and went over the hillside out here. And I never saw it again. I was freaked out. I couldn't believe that I saw that. I just couldn't explain how I felt. I was shook up pretty good. And then an hour later, the same pathway that bright orb took, there's a helicopter coming out from the opposite direction, but it didn't have nothing. I thought, okay, this is definitely weird. Very strange here. And I told and the first person I told about, I forgot, I told face to face this was my uncle. I called him on the phone and said, hey, are you awake? He's like, yeah. I said, I need to tell you something. He goes, okay. He could tell in my voice something happened to me. I was shook up. I went in there and finally got my coffee. He waited for me to drink some coffee. And he knew and looked right at me and could tell there was something wrong with me. I was shook up pretty good. He's like, he could just tell my face and everything. I set the cup down and said, I just saw a UFO last night. He goes, tell me everything. I told him everything that happened, and he believed me. He literally believed me.
So you're saying, what color was this? It was white in color?
Yeah, it was white, a solid circle. It was bright white. And it just shot across the top of the trees, it looked like. I mean, I said, what in the heck is this thing? It just went across, and I'd never seen it again after that.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's more fascinating, you know? I mean, something goes past quickly like that, you're probably not too scared. You're more of just wondering what the hell you just saw.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you had to guess, what would you guess? Obviously not knowing 100%
My
sure.
guess would have to say it was a UFO or a UAP.
And would that be some kind of alien or government? What do you think?
I want to say extraterrestrial, or at least, or because, I mean, I've seen things like that. I've heard of sightings similar to that before. And then there was, I saw that one out here that night. I caught it on tape. It was a little tiny ball of light moving away from the moon very slowly. And I got it on tape. I believe I sent it to you on Instagram that time. And it was moving further and further away from the moon. I said it was at a steady pace. And I've seen similar videos like this. Not exact, but similar. I said, okay, that had to be a UAP I saw. And I mean, I just, when I saw it, I couldn't believe I was actually seeing this.
Right. Now, a lot of times, you know, we have our own five senses and they have limitations.
Yeah.
But sometimes our animal companions can pick up on things that we ourselves can't perceive. Sometimes maybe they have some extra cognition that we don't have within the limits of our senses. So what do you think about the ability of animals to actually sense presence that we're not able to see? Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, there's studies that show that dogs can smell cancer in people, certain types of cancer. I mean, and dogs have better hearing than humans do. So they must be able to pick up on certain things like that. Like, when they do, like, you heard about, like, they ghosts and stuff disturb, like, EMF fields, like electromagnetic fields and stuff. You know, maybe some animals are sensitive to that. You know, they can pick up on that. They're sensitive. Maybe that's how I believe dogs could pick up on it because we're not able to, but some are gifted and able to. But I believe absolutely animals could see and sense something like that we can't see.
That makes sense. So I don't want to be insensitive, Kyle. I mean, these things are so strange and unbelievable. What is it really that you believe in? What do you think are the limits of these encounters with the strange and supernatural? What do you really believe in?
I mean, I do. I'm a firm believer in the cryptozoology stuff. Um, I believe in all that, and I mean, I believe in those, stuff like that. I mean, when it comes to Bigfoot being an alien, it's like some people try to say Bigfoots are aliens and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time believing that. Now, are Bigfoots also Bigfoots are spiritual creatures? And I could sort of see that in some way. I mean, I could kind of sort of see that in some way. Like, people view them as spiritual creatures. Like, if you see one, it's like you're lucky to actually have a sighting with one. It's like a spiritual. I've heard people that they've seen these creatures. They just had these like weird effects on them. Like, they're never the same, or that's like it changes their life. And I mean, I believe in that stuff.
I definitely have experienced unexplainable things, supernatural phenomenon. Before, I would have never allowed anybody to get away with claiming something like that. I would have said no. But after experiencing some of these supernatural things myself, I don't know if I'm in a great position to doubt any of this. We have to trust our own senses. Even if other people haven't experienced what we experienced, these things could escape our own understanding. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
But we don't just have to take people's word for it. There is modern recording technology, and we actually have some recordings of these phenomenon taking place. Because, of course, you're in the woods, you see something incredible, you hear something supernatural, the first thing you're going to try to do is record it, right?
Right.
So I was wondering, do you have any familiarity with the Sierra noises?
Yeah, yes, I'm very familiar with it. I've heard the recordings many times, and it's very fascinating to me. Like, I've heard of it, and when I hear it, I've heard it many times to try to figure it out. It's like almost like I've talked to people, and to me, it kind of sounds like some of them, like they sound like they're talking. Like,
well,
some people
we've
might
got
say,
the recordings right here. So let's let our audience take a listen to the Sierra noises and see if they can decipher for themselves what's going on, and then we'll discuss it.
Absolutely.
That's our job. Now we know where we look for tracks of life for sure. Thought I heard them cross the creek. two of them across the creek at the big rocks. It's a hard act to follow.
He sounds like he talks to us and they talk to each other.
Yeah. Right there, I just seen movement right through there.
So, scientific discovery has observed
We're in for a night, Bill.
many different species, but of course, so far, we've not been able to determine what species those sounds would come from. Is that correct?
Yes, I agree. I mean, they've been trying to figure it out. Like they say somewhere, I think it was in that video, it said that's not humans doing it or human capacity or something like that. And I mean, I've heard it so many times. I have some theories to it. I've never really shared with anyone yet. I mean, I may have, and I just don't recall. But I mean, I believe if anyone's ever wondered what a Neanderthal or Homo sapien or something like that sounds like, I would say there you go. That's what that one sounds like. Something maybe a hybrid of a Neanderthal Homo sapien. Because I've heard other recordings like that, not just from the Sierra Sounds, but somewhere else, just like it. And people say Bigfoots have their own language; they talk, and that's possibly what that is a Bigfoot language or something that's like a Bigfoot, but maybe not exactly like a Bigfoot.
So you would guess that would probably be their way of communication and speaking to each other, or are they trying to lure people near so that they can devour them and use them as a food source? Do you think that that's possible?
Yeah, I believe that's possible. I mean, I don't think they were trying to lure people away. I think they were just trying to communicate because they must have thought, who are they? They thought those researchers were one of their own people. Like they understand it, but the problem is we just don't know what they're saying exactly. What that language is. It's like some people might say it's gibberish, but it's like a broken language or something that we don't understand or know how to speak. We just got to figure out how to translate it into or determine what it is. Like, what language is this?
Kyle, I gotta say, with everything that you've encountered so far, all of these wild occurrences, I am just shocked that you haven't personally learned how to speak the Sierra Sasquatch language yourself at this point.
I know. I've tried to figure it out, or try to figure out what this language could be like, something similar to it, but I haven't come up with it yet, or any answers yet. It's got to be a language that's lost to history.
Now, it was a long time ago when you actually were so up close and personal with these cryptids.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would respond differently today? Would you attempt communication, or would you simply just observe?
Depending on the situation or which sighting it was, I'd probably just simply observe it.
Well, what would you do? Would you go to video recording or photos? What do you think you would have a better chance to capture them?
I would try to get a video or even a picture of it, whichever one I could do first.
That's probably a good plan. And when you do, you're going to send it to me, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've got the video of that UAP. Do you need me to resend it to you?
Yeah, that'd be great. You should.
Okay, I'll send it to you later this evening, if that's okay, and let you and your audience determine what it is, because it was like I said, it was just moving away slowly away from the moon. That night, it would stop and it would keep moving. And I was like in awe about it. Like, I can't believe I get this on tape.
I am gonna have to look very closely into that. But
Okay.
Kyle, I gotta say, this has been an amazing and illuminating short interview with you. And I
Okay.
really do appreciate you getting on here and talking to me. That was really some fascinating stuff that you've experienced. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm happy to be on here.
Yeah, so we will have to do another UAP interview once I get a chance to review those photos.
Okay. I'd be happy to come back on here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to end the interview there, but we loved it, and thank you so much for joining us.
Alrighty, and I'm glad to be on here. And you have a great evening.
All right. I'll see you back here in a few weeks.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Great. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And we will be right back.
The final stop for this train will be The final stop for this train will be Station A.
Well, what do you think? Do you think Kyle's story is too far-fetched, too unbelievable? We don't really know. We don't have the facts. We don't have much more information than he's volunteered to give to us. I think that these details coming to light are incredible. And I think if there's anything we could do to replicate these experiences, I would do it. The paranormal, the cryptozoology, these are all topics of great importance and great interest. And I will be continuing to monitor the situation. But for now, I am going to sign off. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Productivity Zone. You're watching Ian.tv. And that is about all. Peace out.